The San Diego Padres are coming off one of their most successful seasons in franchise history. After winning 89 games during the regular season, the Padres beat the Mets in the wild card round and took down the division rival Dodgers before losing to the Phillies in the NLCS. All of that success came without superstar Fernando Tatis Jr., who missed the entire season due to injury and a PED suspension, but is set to return at some point in 2023. The Padres showed last year they can win without him, and after signing shortstop Xander Bogaerts to a massive 11-year contract, are the Padres trying to force Tatis Jr.'s hand and request a trade? It's not as crazy as it sounds if you let me explain. Fernando Tatis Jr. broke out in the major leagues in 2019 as a 20-year-old. In 84 games, he had .317 with 22 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and had a .969 OPS. He followed up his breakout rookie season with another elite year during the shortened 2020 season, putting up very similar numbers in 25 fewer games. It was clear San Diego had a superstar talent on their hands. He could hit for contact, power, run, and his defense was solid, but definitely the weakest part of his game. Before the start of the 2021 season, the Padres and Tatis Jr. agreed to a 14-year, $340 million contract extension, and at the time, it was the third largest contract in MLB history. Given his production at such a young age, the deal looked like a no-brainer, and Tatis Jr. got off to an elite start in 2021, but battled injuries during the first couple of months. He missed a few games due to a shoulder injury in April, went on the IL with an oblique injury in June, and re-injured his shoulder in July, forcing him to go on the IL again. During his rehab assignment for his shoulder, the Padres approached Tatis Jr. about playing the outfield for the remainder of 2021 to hopefully avoid further injury, and when he returned on August 15 to the big leagues, he started in right field. Despite being an outfielder when he signed as an international prospect, his time in the outfield in the big leagues wasn't pretty, and after the season was persistent that he never wants to play there again, in quotes saying, AJ Preller signed a shortstop, and he's going to have a shortstop. That's the plan so far, and I'm not planning on moving for a very long time. Going into 2022, Tatis Jr. was set to return as the Padres shortstop, but he ended up needing surgery on his wrist after falling off his motorcycle and missed the first 4 months of the season. To make matters worse, during his rehab assignment, he tested positive for steroids and was suspended 80 games and missed the entire 2022 season. The players, staff, and organization as a whole were very fed up. Padres GM AJ Preller said, I think what we need to do is to get to a point in time where we trust. Over the course of the last 6 or 7 months, I think that's been something that we haven't really been able to have. Ha-Seong Kim took over as the everyday shortstop for San Diego last year and excelled defensively, but it appeared like Tatis would return as the starting shortstop next year until Wednesday night. The Padres went out and signed Xander Bogaerts to an 11-year, $280 million deal in free agency, and he will become the team's starting shortstop while Ha-Seong Kim will shift over to second base. When Tatis Jr. returns in 2023, he will have no choice but to play in the outfield, which he insisted before he does not want to or likes to play, and with already some tension between him and the team, could we see him request a trade? Back in 2021, when Tatis Jr. signed his massive contract extension, the deal included the no-trade clause until 2028, which means he couldn't be traded without his approval. However, Tatis Jr. can request a trade, similar to how Pirates outfielder Brian Reynolds recently did. Will it happen? Who knows? But the Xander Bogaerts deal makes you wonder if the Padres could be forcing his hand. Yes, Bogaerts is an upgrade to a stacked lineup that already features Manny Machado and Juan Soto, and yes, Bogaerts could be a security blanket for Machado, who has an opt-out after next season. To me, it looks like a punishment or a message to their guy, who is becoming the face of the franchise, the highest paid player in club history, but let the team down dramatically. If things go down south upon his return, or the relationship proves to be damaged, imagine Tatis wants a fresh start and a potential haul San Diego could get in return. That's another question. Tatis Jr. is coming off shoulder surgery, and who knows what he will be like in his return. We've seen what happened to a guy like Cody Bellinger, who's dealt with shoulder issues, underwent surgery, and went from an MVP to a 203 hitter the last 3 years. Regardless of what happens, it will be interesting to see his reaction to playing the outfield again and the dynamic of him back on the team. Will he get traded? Probably not, but it definitely can't be ruled out.